Hi everyone, Happy New Year. It's Stacy. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. First video of 2023. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome to the first video for 2023. They do come out weekly on Thursdays, and so I hope you enjoy this one and continue to join us weekly here. For those of you who have been practicing now for a couple of years, welcome back and Happy New Year to everyone. So I hope that the holidays were and are continuing to be great for everyone, and that everyone is safe, happy, healthy, and warm. Today we're going to be flowing through some warrior postures, and I will be kind of moving between my chair and the mat a little bit to try and accommodate the use of the chair in a variety of ways. So sometimes people want to sit in the chair and practice the whole time seated. So I'll try and show some options for the seated versions. If you are kind of trying to do both, great. If you're going to be standing on your mat the whole time, great. So we'll try and get to all of those postures and variations of those postures. So if you are waiting for me to cue on the mat or the chair, just go ahead and find a few breaths while you're waiting for me to get there, or find a posture that feels good for your body, one that you love, and just continue holding that posture there. Otherwise, if you have any other props that you like to practice with, blocks, straps, bolsters, pillows, blankets, anything, go ahead and grab those now. I will only be using really the chair as my prop. And yeah, like I said, I'll be flowing between the chair and the mat, and we'll do our best to get through our first New Year's practice. It's going to be a little more high energy. I think it's a great way to kick off the year. We'll have lots of time to slow down and explore some slower movements as well, but I know that the holidays can be busy and crazy, and it might feel counterintuitive to do something a little more high energy, but I do think there's also a lot of, you know, indulging and resting and sitting, and those are all perfectly great things to do during the holidays, but let's get our bodies moving. So I'm gonna step back to the mat and we'll get going. I've got some holiday bling on here. My little sweatshirt has a sparkly yellow heart on it, and it matches my yoga mat, which I love. So we will start our practice. We're going to start seated, and we'll kind of build from there. So if you're seated in your chair, go ahead and find your chair. If you're coming to the mat, go ahead and come on all the way down to the mat and find a comfortable seated position. This can be easy seated, cross-leg, lotus or half lotus if you're feeling ready for that already. Anything that feels good for you to spend just a few moments in quietness and grounding and kind of landing here and putting everything aside and putting away the holidays and all the cleanup and all the indulgence and all the wonderful things that happen, and just trying to find a few moments here now to connect back to body and breath. So let's find our comfortable seat. Our hands can be on our lap or at our heart center, wherever we feel comfortable. They can be turned down or turned up. Lots of options there. If you are looking to invite a certain energy into the practice, maybe turning the hands open would be your choice. And if you're looking to calm the energy down, if you're already feeling like you have a lot of great energy, maybe turning the hands down towards your body and connecting that way, grounding down. And if it is comfortable, closing the eyes here. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can just maybe turn the gaze down towards the floor and find a nice still space on the floor to rest the gaze. Let's just take a couple of moments to tune into our breath here. Notice, are we still breathing? Are we still breathing? Sometimes it feels like we're sort of treading water through the holidays. So just noticing where the breath is, noticing if it's deep or shallow, noticing where we're feeling the breath, where we can really physically feel the air flowing in and out of our bodies. There's no right or wrong answer here. We're just trying to notice and tune in. Try to notice the natural rhythm. I know it's really difficult that the minute we turn our attention to our breath, for it not to change a little bit. But let's just notice here any sounds as well, any smells. And notice what you can see. Even if your eyes are closed, what are you seeing behind your lids? What kind of colors and patterns? Try to bring in all the senses. And then finally, let's bring our awareness to the sense of touch. Our hands connected to our bodies connected to the chair and the floor, the mat. So just trying to connect to all those senses. Maybe even trying to decide which one feels the most vibrant and which one you're struggling to connect with. Taking a few more breaths here. Maybe even starting to deepen the breath a little bit, really drawing some air into the belly, filling the ribs and chest as well. And then exhaling it all out, pressing it down into the mat, out through the floor, the chair, and then inhale to draw that air into belly, ribs, and chest. And then exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Let it all kind of draw back in. Inhale, belly, ribs, and chest. Take a nice full deep breath here. And then exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Take a few more moments just breathing, connecting, tuning into your senses, and maybe even setting an intention. Now this can be an intention for the practice you're about to do. It can be for the day, the week, or maybe even the year ahead, considering this is our first time together. Take a few minutes to just repeat that intention to yourself, and it can be anything. This practice day, week, month, year, I will, and fill in the blank. I will rest more. I will work more. I will connect with friends more. I will deconnect more. I will read more. Or you can even flip it and do less of stuff. I will take on fewer tasks. I will say yes to too many things less frequently. So anything that you think you'd like to work on and be conscious of this practice day, month, week, or year ahead. And then when we're ready, if the eyes are closed, we can flutter them open and just let that sense of sight adjust to the open eyes, the space around you. And then let's start to bring a bit of movement to the breath. To begin with, nice and easy, let's sweep the arms up overhead, inhale. And then exhale, release. I'm just going to move over here, get that fire in the background, which I know we can hear. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Another one here, inhale. Exhale, let's add a twist. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, we're going to twist open to one side. One arm comes across the body and just helps guide ourselves in our twist. The other one can come behind the chair or the floor and just help us grow taller by sort of pressing into the hands. We can grow a little bit taller in our twist. We'll inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale again. And then exhale, come around to center. Good, let's go to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, twist over to the other side, crossing opposite arm across the body, planting opposite hand behind us to help us grow tall on our twist here. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and as we inhale, we'll come around to the front. Good. Let's flow with the breath. Let's inhale here. Exhale, twist. Inhale. And exhale. So rooting down through the sit bones, inhale here. Exhale, twist through the core. So the sit bones are rooted. We're really moving through that spine. One more on each side. Inhale. And exhale. Good, let's inhale through center. Let's find that side bend. Drop the left arm and exhale over towards the left, rooting down through the left hand, reaching up and over with the right hand, creating a big C shape here with that right side body. Feeling a nice big opening, really root down through the sit bones. They stay evenly grounded as always. On the next inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, let's drop that right hand, root it into the mat. Reach up and over with the left hand on the exhale. Root down through the left sit bones. Stay for a breath. Feel that big stretch and C shape down left side body. On the next inhale, come on up through center. And then we'll flow a bit. Let's exhale over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. And exhale, right. Inhale, center. Let's reach up again on another inhale. Reach the shoulders up. Reach, reach, reach as you root down through the sit bones. So we're creating space down the sides of the bodies here. Reach, 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 reach. And then exhale the hands down. Let's roll the shoulders a couple of times. And in the other direction as well. Good. Let's bring our hands back to our thighs here. We're just going to start to get a little bit of movement going in the hips as well. We've been moving in different directions in the plane of the spine. Let's add in our hips here to wake them up a little bit. So using the hands as a little bit of leverage, we're just going to pull the heart space through an inhale, and then we're going to start to circle around through the hips. Oops, my chair's in the way here. And all of this, of course, can be done seated in the chair. So far, we haven't needed to change anything. Just rotating through the hips, moving that spine kind of in a circle in all directions, creating a bit more movement, waking everything up. A little bit like a moving cat-cow. We're sort of rounding through the spine, exhaling, and then pulling the heart space through, inhaling, and then exhaling here. Inhale. Let's do a couple more in this direction, then we'll switch directions, and if need be, we can also switch the cross of the legs. So let's take an inhale here through center. And if we are wanting to switch the cross of our legs, go ahead and do that. Bringing the hands back to the thighs, pulling the heart space through to start on our inhale. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction here. Exhale to round. Good. So notice how moving in this direction might feel different. Notice the weight shifting from side to side as well. Again, it's that inhale as the heart reaches forward and exhale as we round through the spine. Let's do another one here. Exhale, and then we'll just inhale back up to a nice tall seat. Awesome. All right. From here, let's take a big inhale. Let's exhale the hands behind us. Now, if you're in your chair, you might want to move forward on the chair a little bit. See if we can find room behind us to either reach and grab onto an imaginary beach ball or clasp the knuckles, reach the knuckles down towards the mat, open up through the front side body here. Stay for a breath. Then let's see if we can clasp the knuckles and bring them over to the side waist. So sort of the left side body here. Noticing how that changes the stretch down the right shoulder. We'll stay for a breath. Release to the back and bring those hands around. You can see my hands, they're sort of brought around my back and at my side waist here. So now I'm noticing a nice stretch down the left side shoulder. Good, let's inhale through center. And exhale, hands come all the way down. Okay, let's come out of our seated position. For those of us on the mat, we're going to make our way up to standing. So let's make our way to tabletop. If you're in the chair, you can flow through a few more rounds of your cat-cow. You're circling through the hips, and we're going to meet you up in standing. So if we're on the floor here, let's come into our tabletop. Let's just do a couple rounds of cat-cow where we drop the belly, inhale, exhale to round. Inhale to drop the belly, tilt the tailbone, and then exhale to round. And then you can start to make your way up either by using any props available, stepping one foot forward and stepping up, or if today you feel like trying out your downward dog, we can curl those toes under, lift the knees up, and send the hips up and back towards the ceiling and the wall. Really push into the hands, draw the belly towards the knees, walk the dog out, and then from here, let's see if we can walk our hands all the way back to our toes, hang out for a forward fold. If you're in the chair, forward fold. If you're already standing, find a forward fold. Just let everything be heavy, shake out the wrists. And then we're going to roll all the way up to standing or seated. So really press into the feet. And imagine you're pushing yourself up to standing. And you're going to stack the spine, stack the shoulders and the hips, and let the head come up last. Okay, so here we are, up and standing, or nice tall, seated in our chair. Let's come into our mountain pose here. We're going to ground through the feet. The feet can be about hip width distance. That will give us a nice solid base, bring energy up through the legs here. We'll roll the shoulders down and back, tilt the tailbone. So there's a bit of action as if you're sort of pushing into the baby toe side of your toes, and just roll the shoulders down and back so that the palms turn open. This is our mountain pose. You can come back to this pose at any time. It's a strong pose, but it's a restful pose as well. So this is always here for you. It's kind of a standing version of child's pose. If you're in the chair, you can sit up nice and tall, or you can fold forward. So this is an option to come to at any time today. From here, let's take a big inhale, reach up. Let's exhale and forward fold again. So we're going to swan dive down. And then we're going to come up halfway. And then exhale all the way back down again. And then press through those feet, come up all the way to standing. Drag the hands through heart center and sit back as if you're sitting in a chair. Good, let's do that again. Press through the feet, inhale. Exhale with a long spine, dive down towards the floor. Come up halfway, drag the fingers up the shins, find a nice tall, like flat back, and then exhale back down. And then press through the feet, come all the way back up to standing with a long spine. Draw the hands through heart center as we sit back in a chair. So if you're flowing on the floor, keep going. I'm going to join the chair. Join you in the chair for a round. So we're seated up nice and tall on our inhale. Exhale, we're going to forward fold. The feet can be a little wider. Then we're going to drag the hands up the shins, just like the people standing. Find a tall spine, and then exhale back down. And then we're going to inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hands through heart center, and we're already in chair pose. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale. Swan dive all the way down. Inhale, come up halfway. Drag those hands up the shins. Exhale, back down. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing. And if we're standing, drag the hands through heart center, find chair. Let's do 2 more rounds. Inhale, moving with your breath. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale. Inhale, pressing all the way up to standing. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, draw the hands through heart center as we sit back in our chair. Last round, we're really getting warm now. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up to standing. Sweep the arms. And exhale into chair pose. Hold here. And then just release back to mountain pose. Now we're going to flow through a bit of a warrior series. If you're standing on the mat, go ahead and find any posture that feels good. I'm just going to demonstrate the warrior options in the chair. So our warriors that we're going to explore today will be warrior 2, which means we're going to turn our hips sideways. You might want to make sure that you can get sideways on your chair. And then in this instance, my right leg's going to come forward and it's going to be supported by the chair. And my back leg's going to come out and I'm going to be pointing the toes forward. But I want to try and, oh sorry, this is, let me get this right, warrior 2. So in fact, we're seated forwards on the chair, pardon me. We have this nice wide stance and our hips are facing forward. So we're not facing this front leg for our warrior 2. So then our warrior 2 arms come nice and wide. So these are the options here. I'm going to move through them so you can know what they feel like and then we'll get into the flow. So this is our warrior 2. Our reverse warrior is just flowing back, reaching left hand down left leg. And then in the chair, the option is to come into our side angle. This will be an option on the floor as well. Or also triangle for those of us who might be standing. It might not be as accessible in the chair, so this is your side angle option. So remember, we have warrior 2, reverse, and side angle. And then we may even come into a twist, but I'll get to that a bit later. Let's flow through that series. So in your chair or on the mat, let's come to our warrior 2. So from the top of the mat, we'll step our left leg all the way back. We're going to turn the hips forward, point the back toes forward and the front toes to the side. So we're facing the camera and we're going to bring our arms nice and wide for our warrior 2. Try to get the shoulders over the hips here. And in our warrior 2, we don't want to lean too far forward or too far back. We want to stay firmly grounded in the present. So we're rooting down through the feet, rooting down through the shoulders and hips in a line, a nice vertical line. Arms are reaching long. So really reach energy through the fingers, root down through the feet. See if we can get this knee in the front to track out towards the baby toe. So if it starts to sort of roll in, we want to use the strength of our leg to roll it out towards the baby toe corner. This is our nice, strong warrior 2. Stay here for a couple breaths. Maybe sink a little deeper in the front leg. Maybe adjust our posture so we're nice and firmly grounded. And then we'll inhale, flip the front palm. Exhale, reach back, find our reverse warrior. Come on back through warrior 2. If we're standing, we have the option for side angle where we're going to reach forward so elbow connects to knee. Left arm reaches up or over, so we create this nice long line of energy. We want to drop the hip maybe, or we can come into a triangle whereby we take the bend out of the front knee. Let me get into it in a different way. We're going to take the bend out of the front knee, reach, 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 reach with the front hand, send the hips back until it can't go any further, and then we just tip into triangle, where the right hand comes to the inside of right leg. Top arm can reach up, or we can bring it down, drop it down, stick it in that back pocket if it's too much on the shoulders. Lots of options. Remember, if we're standing, we might also be in our side angle. Just make sure if we're in our side angle, not just dumping into the support of the knee and the arm. We're still using core strength to stay nice and lifted and open so that it feels like you could actually lift this hand off the leg and still be in the posture. All right, wherever we are, we've been in the postures for a long time. Let's take one more breath. Good. To get out of triangle, you may want to bend into that front leg, windmill the arms up and over into the back. Reverse warrior again. Let's come back to warrior 2. I know it's a lot of work. Let's stay here for a moment. Really feel grounded and present. Thinking about our motto for the practice, the day, the week, the month, the year here. And then let's drop the arms, straighten that front leg. Let's turn the toes in. If you're in the chair, step the feet wide. We're going to come into a nice forward fold. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, rotate the hips forward, coming down as far as you can. You might want blocks here. You might come all the way down to the floor with a nice flat back. Or or you might just drop the head and find a nice passive forward fold. All right, from here, let's come up halfway, engage through the core as we lift the hands up to the hips and hinge all the way back up. Good. Let's heel toe, the feet in and shake it out. You know, we got to do the other side now. So in the chair, same thing. You're now going to have the left leg supported with the chair, and we'll find our warrior two flow on the left side. So if we're standing on the mat, from the top of the mat, this time, that right foot's going to take a big step back. The right toes will face forward. We're going to bend into that left front leg. Those left toes face the side. And we want to make sure that knee is tracking out towards the baby toes here. So then stack the hips. So try and draw the hips in. Hips under shoulders, arms reach long. Sink into that front leg a little deeper. Energize through both feet as you root down through the floor. And then we can gaze off those front fingers. Stay for a few rounds of breath here. Keep making those adjustments so that we're constantly working on the posture, staying present in the moment. When we stop sort of thinking about the posture, the leg might straighten, the hips might tilt. So we want to keep thinking about all those adjustments to stay really present. Take a big inhale here, flip that that front palm up, reach back, finding a reverse warrior. Let's see if we can open the heart up towards the ceiling or sky. And then we're going to come back and find either our side angle or triangle. So if you're coming into triangle, straighten out through that front leg. Start to reach forward with the left hand as the right hips reach all the way back, and then you're just going to tip into triangle. Now the hand might fall at the shin, the ankle, maybe there's a block you can rest on. We want to try and spin the heart open, reach the hand up, or bring it down, stick it in that back pocket, but roll the shoulder open. If you're in the side angle, elbow rests on knee, right arm comes up or over, but we're not dumping. Remember, we're still using our core strength. In theory, I could lift this arm right off and still be in the posture. I'm coming back into my triangle. You stay in the posture that you've chosen. We've got a few more breaths here. Now, if you're in triangle, you may want to bend into that front knee just to give a little bit of help to come up. Windmill the hands all the way back. Open up. You can even straighten through the leg if you like, if that feels better and different. And then come back to warrior two. Release the hands. Turn the toes in. We're in our forward fold here again. Take a big inhale. Exhale, rotate, finding the floor, the blocks, staying with a flat back or melting down. Let's come up to flat back, engage through the core, release the hands from the blocks or floor, and hinge all the way back up to standing. Good, let's heel toe, and shake it out. Okay, awesome. Let's come into a little warrior one flow here. So we're going to get into warrior one. So now on the chair, we are going to turn sideways in our chair. So here's how warrior one is a bit different from warrior two. Now the hips in warrior one face the front leg here, this right leg, and then the back leg steps back. In the warrior posture, the foot plants down. It's on a little bit of an angle. If that's too much, you can come into a bit of a high lunge. That's okay too. We're up on the toes, but our hips are facing forwards, and we're going to work on squaring those hips off to the front. So you're either in a lunge or warrior one, and arms can reach up here. And then we might even come into a twist. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can just stay in your warrior one. I'll show a few arm options. And then of course we'll do that on the other side. So, all right. If we are on the mat, from the top of our mat, let's step that left leg all the way back. But remember, our hips this time are gonna face this way. We're not turning towards the camera. We're gonna sink into the front leg, and the back leg can be foot planted for a warrior one, or if that feels a little awkward, come up on the toes, come into a nice high lunge, tilting the hips under to get a nice tall posture here. Let's sink into that front leg a little more. Square the hips, so even bringing the hands to the hips and thinking about sort of drawing that right hip back, left hip forward. You're gonna feel that in the back leg. This is where you might go, this is not good for me, I'm gonna come into a lunge. So choosing the variation that works for you. When we come into a twist, we'll come to a lunge because it'll feel awkward a little bit to twist in warrior one. So if you just wanna skip warrior one altogether and stay in lunge, let's do that. Then we're gonna find some arms. Lots of arm options. They can reach up. If it's not good on the shoulders today, we can be in cactus arms. We can have our hands at heart center, so whatever feels best. Warrior one, reaching up, rooting down through that front leg, rooting the hips forward. So think about turning the right hip, pulling the right hip back, left hip forward. This is our warrior one. Also another strong grounding posture. Starting the year off with nice strong warriors. Staying here. And then whatever arms we have, let's inhale to reach them up. And then let's just exhale, open a little bit. So we're sort of thinking about tilting the elbows up towards the ceiling, creating a bit of opening through the front. Good. And then let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, open. Inhale. Exhale, check in with that front knee. It's still bent. We're going to do one more. Inhale here. Exhale. All right, let's inhale here. See if we can come up onto those back toes. And now we're all in a lunge. Even if you were in the lunge before, we've joined you, those of us in warrior one. So up on the toes here. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, draw the hands through heart center, bend through the back knee, and then inhale, reach up, bend through that back knee, inhale, exhale, bend through that back knee a little bit, connect the hands to the heart center here, hinge forward, staying here. Or if it feels good, we can even twist through the waist and connect the left elbow to right knee. And then we're going to find ourselves in a prayer twist here. Press into the hands. And an option if you're standing is to lower the knee down. Curl or uncurl the toes, your choice here. This is a nice deep twist as well. Sink the hips. Or of course, we're in our lunge version. And if you're in the chair, woo, look at that, smooth transition. If you're in the chair, it basically looks the same. You're just supported by the chair. Wherever you are, stay for 3, for 2, and 1. Let's all come forward. Inhale to reach up. We're in a nice tall lunge. Exhale, open up. Inhale. Exhale, we're almost done here. Inhale to reach up. Exhale. Let's inhale to reach up. And then we're going to lower everything down. I'm caught on my chair. I'm going to move it out of the way. Awesome. Whew. Let's heel toe, the hands and feet together. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's hang out over top of the thighs. Let the spine be heavy. Let it round. Notice how much I'm bending my knees here, draping the belly over the thighs. So as if I was in the chair, I'm just leaning forward, letting everything kind of melt down towards the floor. And then let's press through the feet, roll all the way back up. Roll the shoulders a couple of times, and then switching sides. So just for camera purposes, I'll come to the opposite top of my mat here, and I'm going to step the right foot all the way back, plant the foot down on about a 45, and then I'm going to track those hips so they face forward and bend into that front knee. So So I'm coming into that warrior one. Now remember, option if this feels a little awkward as we start to track the hips forward, let's come into our high lunge right away. We're all gonna get there eventually. Let's settle into our warrior one. Pull that right hip forward, left hip back. Inhale the arms up. Stay in our warrior one stillness. Drop the shoulders away from ears. Energy through the fingertips. Strong posture. Strong beginning to our 2023 year. Inhale here. And then exhale, open up. Think about tilting the elbows up towards the ceiling as we open up. And then inhale, reach. Exhale, open up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale here. Let's all meet in that high lunge if we can. Take a big inhale. Exhale the hands through heart center as we bend into the back knee a little bit. And then inhale to reach. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale one more time here. Inhale. Exhale. Staying here. The knee can be bent for support or straightened if that feels more secure. Connect the hands to the heart center. Hinge forward here. Don't round down. Lean forward from the hips and then see if we can twist, connect right elbow on the outside of left knee. Press into the prayer hands, find the twist, stay lifted or lower that back knee down. Sink into the hips. We're gonna stay for a few rounds of breath here in the twist. Remember, you can be off the knee or on the knee. Then let's inhale through center. See if we can inhale all the way back up to our warrior one. Exhale or high lunge. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, lower everything down and heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Shake it out. Just even a windshield wiper, empty coat sleeves. Swing it out. Whew. All right, so that was a really good couple of warrior series. Of course, there's warrior 3. I think coming out of the end of the year last week, we did some balance work with warrior 3s. So I'm going to skip that one this week. We did that balance, trying to end the year, find balance for the end of the year, find balance for the beginning of the year. And now we're starting our year off with strong warrior poses 1 and 2. So let's stretch it out a little bit. That was a lot of work. We're going to come into our seated stretches. So you can find your way back to your seat. You can flow down through a vinyasa if you'd like, or just make your way back down to the mat any way that feels comfortable. We'll do a few stretches here. So to begin with, let's find nice straight legs out in front. Sitting up nice and tall on the sit bones. If you're in the chair, sitting up nice and tall as well. Flexing the toes back towards your face. The knees can be a little bent here, and if it helps from the side, if the legs are a little bit bent, it helps sit up nice and tall and fold forward from the hips rather than rounding down. By all means, put a little space between your knees and the mat. And we can always work on getting those connections. So sit up nice and tall here. I'm going to bend my legs a little bit, just so I find right away I roll onto the sit bones. My pelvis rolls forward, and I'm sitting up nice and tall. Let's all inhale here. Reach, 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 and then hinge with a nice tall spine as far as you can reach. So you're leading with the chest, and then let the hands fall where they fall. It might be to the ankles, might be the floor. You might be able to grab feet or toes. That's your choice. And then you can maybe work on walking the hips back and straightening the legs out as we relax and sink into this stretch for 3. For 2, nice tall back, stay nice and lifted. And 1, go ahead and melt down, round through the spine if that feels okay. Just relax into the stretch. Let's come on up, find that seat. We're gonna bring that left foot with us and cross it over. I'm going to stretch out the side of our leg. If you're in the chair, you're going to cross your ankle over knee and come into your sort of seated cross-legged figure 4. For those of us on the floor, let's find a twist here. So cross that left foot over, hands can hold on to the knee. We'll sit up nice and tall here, feeling a stretch. Option to come into a twist as we bring our left hand behind, right arm comes up and then crosses over the left knee and helps us into a twist. So you can sort of push into the knee pushes into the elbow to help find a little bit of torque and into the stretch here. Stretching the outside of the leg and twisting through the spine. Inhale here and exhale and inhale again. Exhale around to the front. Good. Let's just uncross the foot, keep the leg bent, and we're going to inhale again and forward fold over one leg this time, noticing how that changes the stretch down the back of the front leg and the hip area. If you're in the chair, stay in your figure 4. Keep reaching the heart space forward for another breath and then melt down if that feels okay. And then we'll start to walk ourselves back up. If you're in the chair, come out of your stretch, step the feet nice and wide. If you're on the mat, same thing here. We're gonna bring the legs nice and wide and find a nice wide leg forward fold. So get the legs as wide as you can. Same thing, you can always add that little bend in the legs here. Sit up nice and tall on the sit bones. Inhale here and start to walk the heart space forward. So nice tall spine. If the toes start to curl forward, ease off a bit. Keep the toes pointing out. This is where we know we found that edge and we're getting that nice stretch. We're gonna stay here. You can play with walking the hands, but again, watch out for those toes. If they start to collapse in, ease up. And we're gonna stay for 3. Long back for 2. And 1. Good, let's walk ourselves all the way back. And we're gonna kind of do the other side in the opposite directions, or opposite sort of order. So let's bring that right foot in towards the left inner thigh. And we want to position ourselves so we're going to fold over it facing forward. So as if I was sitting nice and straight on my mat, that right foot comes in. Inhale, reach up, nice tall spine. Send the heart forward, nice tall spine. Let the hands fall where they fall. That might be at the mat, the ankle, the toes, the feet. And staying here, reaching the heart forward. Noticing the stretch down the side leg and the back of the front foot. Flex those toes up towards your face. Melt down for a breath. And then walking all the way back up. And from here then, let's bring the knee up towards the ceiling, cross the foot over. If you're in the chair, you're still working on your figure 4. For those of us on the mat, we're hugging the knee into the chest, sitting up nice and tall. Option to stay here, energy through the outstretched leg, or option to bring that right hand behind, left arm up and over, and then kind of twist ourselves into a twist here by pushing into the leg, leg into elbow, and supporting ourselves, rooting down through the mat in the back, crown of the head reaching tall. Stay for 3, for 2, and 1. Good, let's untwist. And we've already done our side stretch. So we'll uncross the legs, send it out in front, shake them, give them a little pat, a little thank you legs for doing all that work in our warrior series. And let's find a comfortable position for our Shavasana. You can stay seated in your chair or on the mat. You can start to roll back if that feels nice as well. You can use your legs as a lever. And when you get here on your back, if you're choosing this, just draw the knees in, rock side to side. If you're seated in the chair, option for the, instead of the rocking, is to draw one knee up towards the face and then the other. I mean, you can do this on the floor too. So that's the chair option. If you're on the floor, you can curl into a little ball, rock side to side. You can continue to stay here or start to draw the knees apart and down towards the side of the body. You might rock or find stillness, and if you still want to take it a little further, you may even reach for the ankles or the soles of feet, drawing the knees down towards the side of the body in your happy baby. So it's like the feet are pressing up to the ceiling, the hands are pulling the feet down, the shoulders are connected to the mat, the tailbone rolls down along the mat, whole spine connected. And stay here for a few rounds of breath. You can stay in stillness and happy baby. You can rock side to side. You can even extend one leg and then the other if that feels good, and if you have the space in your home studio. So wherever you are, find a few deep breaths. Come back to that intention you set at the beginning of class and just see where you are. Is it something you want to carry forward to the rest of your day, your week, your month, your year ahead? Or are you finished with that intention for today? We're going to put it down, leave it there for maybe another time, maybe not. And as we start to close our first practice of 2023, we'll draw the feet together, knees together, give ourselves a great big hug, and then find our most comfortable resting position for a few moments. That might be knees bent, or might be legs stretched out, arms down by our side, whatever feels best. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable, and start to scan your bodies, standing from head to toe and toe to head, front and back side bodies. Just noticing if there are any areas you're still holding on to any tension, and see if you can't just sort of let it go. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical. It's a time for integration and rest, and know that rest is different from sleep and that we need both every day, and we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing, staying as you are. For a few more moments. And then if you are someone who wants or needs to stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer, by all means, press pause now or press stop and let the video just end. If you're ready to start to wake up your body and get on and take on this year, this new year of 2023. Start to wiggle through fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles. Maybe stretching long along your mat or curling into a little ball one last time before rolling over to one side and making your way up to a comfortable seated position. From here, let's all take a big collective breath together to welcome this new year and all its ups and downs that it's going to bring us. We know it's not going to be perfect. They never are, but that's the joy of the new year. Inhale, 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 and then exhale, draw all of the 2023 intentions and wishes and hopes and fears and dreams that you have for yourself, your friends, and your family. Draw them close to your heart. And just stay here with them for a moment. And I want to thank you so much for allowing me into your personal private yoga practice spaces, for allowing me to guide you through this flow. I hope that you had a great new year. I hope that you have a great year ahead. And I hope to see you many, many times throughout this new year here every Thursday. Until the next time we have a chance to flow again, take care. Thanks, everyone. Welcome to 2023. Who knows what this year has in store for us? It has been a ride, hasn't it? Hope to see you here next week. Take care. Bye.